Here's a quick tutorial on a fault line cake. First, I printed out some edible imaging and I used edible marker to mark them out, and then I cut them out. I backed them with an 1/8 inch rolled out fondant. I just used blue because I had extra. Now I am measuring a pre-frosted and crumb-coated cake, and I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put that edible imaging. So I'm using this tool. I broke it, so I got a toothpick taped to it to make a very straight line, so that way the bottom of my edible imaging will sit right on that line. So I know how much space I want above and below the cake because I had measured it. Now I'm just going to stick that edible imaging right on that very cold cake. If you need, you can use edible glue or piping gel. I didn't because my cake was nice and cold. There was a little bit of moisture and the fondant just sticks right on it. If there's too much moisture on your cake, you might need to pat it off with a Viva paper towel or a paper towel. Now I made this one a little too long. You can measure ahead of time if you need. I didn't do that, but I just used some scissors and I cut it off and, kind of tuck it in. But the bottom is even with that line that I made. So as you can see, there's a pretty even amount of space on the top and bottom. Now, I want the buttercream to be thick. So I'm going to make a big hole in my piping bag because I want the buttercream to be thicker than the edible imaging. So I get the top ready, lightly scrape the sides of the edge off. But you see how thick that buttercream is because I did not cover my edible imaging with acetate or plastic or anything like that. If you think you are going to get buttercream on it, you can wrap it up in acetate. I did not do that. So using a piping bag is going to give me an even amount of buttercream around the cake, which means that when I use my scraper and I'm careful with it, it's not going to get on the edible imaging. So you choose what is best for you. Now here's a hot scraper and I'm going to go super duper slow and keep an eye on the edible imaging. And I'm just going to do one pass at a time. One, that's it. Just one pass at a time. Super slow. Look, this video right here of this pass, look at my hand, how it's on the back side. It's going to be one nice rotation around without stopping. Okay, and that's key because you don't want to get any scraper marks in your buttercream, and going slow is key because you don't want to get any buttercream on your edible imaging. So here, one pass at a time. And I think to achieve this with the way that I piped the buttercream on, I only had to do about 3 passes before I was happy with my result. Okay, I wanted some texture, so same thing. One nice slow pass to get the texture, and we want it to be a continuous turn around the turntable. That way we avoid getting any lines or indentations in our buttercream. So you see that one pass without me stopping the turntable. And I think I end up doing my texture, same thing, 2 or 3 times tops, to get it looking pretty good the way that I want it. And then once I'm finished getting this just so perfect, I'm not gonna really worry about my edge until I get the cake nice and cool. So I'm gonna pop it right into the fridge when I'm done doing the scrape and let it firm up a bit. I now have a cold cake with the top edge scraped off, and then I use that fondant tool to clean up the edges that overlap the comic book fault line. Hope you enjoyed it. Here's the cake.
DJ, make it hot like